welcome to That's What It's All About. We are here in Florence, Italy, and are reviewing a Peroni beer. It's a special one. This is their Nastro Azzurro. This is the Firenze edition. Looks like there's a few others, a Rome one, Naples edition. So let's give it a little taste here. It's a little bit watery. It's a definitely clean taste. Some hops, very light though, but nothing too much stands out here. Yeah, very crisp and clean. I'd say it's definitely drinkable, especially in the summer. This is kind of like a lager style type ale, type beer. But nothing really kind of is jumping out. A little bit kind of watered down. I would say overall, since the flavor profile it's kind of lacking, a little bit weak, I would give this a 3 stars. But easy drinking, good for a hot day, especially here in Florence. So that's what's all stout. I would say Prost normally, but in Italian, not sure what it is, so I'll just say cheers for this one. And if you didn't notice, this is our special edition because we are on our honeymoon, and this is a special That's What It's All Stout coming to you from Italy. Welcome to That's What's All Stout. We are now in Rome, still celebrating the honeymoon. We made it down from Florence to Rome. We came in a few days ago in Rome, and we were at a bar last night, and I noticed this beer that you were able to do a takeaway or take it to go. So we went back today, picked it up. It was at a place called, I think, like Cafe Barretto. And this was one of the only IPAs that I have seen so far. Everything else has kind of just been an ale or something kind of like along those lines. Nothing really too standout-ish, kind of just like a Peroni, sort of like Heineken flavor type beers, but nothing really IPA or craft or anything like that. So this one definitely kind of struck my eye. And this is by Birrifico Petrognola, and this is their IPA Birra al Farro. So I believe it has farro grain in it. And just kind of like looking at it a little bit, it looks like it has a little bit of malt, and it says it has farro and 4%, which I guess it means it has 4% of farro in it. I couldn't find too much of it online. It seems like this is a new offering from this brand. And it might mean that IPAs are kind of coming over to Italy, whereas it's kind of all been dominated by wines. So all the places that we went to so far are all wine list, wine bars, and maybe a few beers. The one place that we saw a lot of beers was in Florence, kind of at like a big food market. They had multiple taps, but other than that, it's mainly just been like a Peroni that you could kind of pick up here and there. So this was kind of exciting, so I'm eager to try this one. So let's crack it open. I have a new special Pope bottle opener. Okay, so I have the beer here. I don't have any kind of glassware because I'm in a hotel right now. So besides this, I just kind of have to do it out of the bottle. So, Alright, so I was just handed a drinking glass from my assistant. So let's give it a nose. I do kind of get a grainy nose on it. I'll pour a little more here. A little bit of a grain and a little bit of, I'm trying to put my finger on it, something sweet here. Kind of a little bit fruity. It's hard to say really what it is. It might be like a tropical fruit. Maybe like a papaya. I'm trying to get it here, so we'll see. Oh, so giving it a taste, actually I does taste like tropical fruits. And I think that is papaya. So it is kind of jumping out with tropical fruits, maybe a little bit of like a mango, but definitely papaya. This is kind of like a strong papaya. It has a little bit of a hop, not too much though. For an IPA, I would say it doesn't really have too much of a hop bite to it. I'd say it's more of like fruity than actually hoppy. But not overly fruity in the sense of it's like a fruit beer. It's kind of, I would say it's kind of balanced, but there's not too much in terms of the hops. Yeah, it's actually more leaning towards like the grain. So you're getting more of the grain, not too much of the hops, more grain, more malt on top of that. For the farro piece, yeah, I guess that would be the grainy part that I'm kind of tasting now. It doesn't kind of jump out as, it just kind of tastes grainy. Yeah, but overall, I would say pretty good. I would give it a 3.5. I mean, for an IPA in Italy, I think this is kind of one of the best that you could get right now. Other than that, because I'm not too familiar. I mean, if I'm speaking out of turn, I'm not sure. But this is kind of all I've seen so far with an IPA labeled on it. But other than that, I think this is a pretty decent IPA if, you know, you're kind of in a pinch out here in Italy and you're looking for something. And I haven't really been scouring like liquor stores or anything. This has kind of been just in cafes where I'm popping in. What's nice too, just to point out culturally, is it seems like there's just a lot of individual bottles. Not so much in the 6-pack area. So it's not like you're forced to buy a 6-pack of these things. It's kind of just more of like an individual bottle, which is nice because I kind of go for that when I'm at home. Just to kind of give you a little bit more on it, I think this brewery, I was looking on a map and they seem to be, I might butcher this, but it's Piazza al Surcio, and that seemed to be outside of kind of like the Lucca area, where we were a few days ago, kind of doing a little bit of a wine tour and Tuscany tour. So it's kind of good to see that coming out from that area. Yeah, overall a solid beer. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. So that's what's all stout from Rome. Moving on to Naples next. Hopefully have a review at that point. And I'm still not sure on the cheers. So I think it is cheers here. So instead of Prost, for now, cheers from Rome. That's what's all stout. We are now in Ischia as part of this special edition, Italian edition of That's What's All Stout. So I just went to the local shop where they have some fruits and vegetables, a lot of wine, as well as liqueur and things like that. But then in addition to that, a few beers on hand. They had mainly Peroni products. One thing that was called Peroni Chill, which I think is like a Miller Chill, if you remember that from kind of my college days at least. But I picked out this one. This was the one that kind of stood out, that was a little bit different. And at the time, I did not realize that this is actually a non-alcoholic beer. So I'm going to still review it. I'm going to give it a taste, even though it's non-alcoholic. I should have known, but I didn't know that Birra Analcolica meant non-alcoholic beer, but I should have known by the ABV up here, which has 0.5% alcohol by volume. So this is Tourtel. It's low calorie, which is very nice as well. It's also made by Peroni, as I see on the back. It's bottled in Rome, of course, for Peroni. So let's crack it open and I'll give it a taste. I think this was it was like €1 or about that. Like €1.20 or something like that. So let's give it a try. It's actually, I don't have the glass again, but hold on. Now I do. Actually cracking it open, it's a little bit of like a weird smell, almost like a garlic, I would say. Reminds me of that Pizza Boy beer that I had at one time. So I'll just put this in here. Can't see it, but yeah. So the nose on it is strange. It's very garlicky, a little nutty. The taste on it, it's a little like watery, a little dry, but it's pretty much drinks like a lager. I kind of get that garlic taste of it when I drink it, and just also by smelling it at the same time as well and taking it. Not one of my favorites, definitely not. Yeah, definitely an aftertaste, kind of bready. I would have to give this one only 2 stars. Just as I'm remembering now, the other thing that maybe was kind of notable in the store was there was some sort of beer that was mixed with like a tequila. I think it was also by Peroni, I'm not sure, but yeah, not a big fan of this. This is the Tourtel. This is actually a non-alcoholic beer made by Peroni, and That's What It's All Stout is going to have to give it 2 stars from, yeah, 1.5 stars from Ischia, Italy. That's What It's All Stout. I'll try to do a review in Naples, just kind of have to make sure I'm able to find something and be able to buy it and review it at that time. But other than that, That's What It's All Stout from Ischia, Italy, on to Naples now for our last stop and last night. Prost! Back to That's What It's All Stout, the Italy edition. We are here currently in Naples and ready to review another beer for you. So this is Birra Moretti. Moretti is your brand, and this is a lager style beer. I picked this up from one of the street carts. They openly have beer, other little types of liquor, water, as well as like snack options and things like that. So I picked this up from one of the carts along the Gulf of Naples, kind of out in front of our hotel, and looking forward to trying this one. I've seen different versions of it. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but when we were in Florence, I was trying to pick up a can of this, and it was maybe like around 10 o'clock at night. The shop was still open, but they said they stopped serving beer at 9 o'clock. This was like a full wine store. It had a cooler of beer and like soda and stuff like that. But other than that, not too much in the store, so I'm not even sure why they were open. It was kind of strange. But I did manage to pick this up now today in Naples. This is our last stop in Italy, so we'll be back tomorrow, heading back home to New Jersey tomorrow. So looking forward to trying this final beer as well as getting into other beers back in the United States with full reviews coming soon. So this is Birra Moretti, and this one's a little bit interesting because I noticed on this V. Now in the other ones that I tried to pick up, like the one in Florence, it was just in a can. It didn't really have any kind of information on it or like special logo on it. But doing some research online, it seemed that they're doing a little campaign where, as you kind of see in the back, it's their special recipe. The recipe is the same. I mean, their original recipe, the recipe is the same, but it has different pairing options. And I think the plan of this is it's showing you, it has up here, La Cucina Italian con 21 Ricetta, which I think it means is it's trying to explain that beer can be paired in the Italian kitchen or Italian cuisine with anything. So wine probably is your first option, but beer is also a good option. So on the back here, as you can kind of see, it has a few different types of things that you could pair it with. And so it ranges from burgers to a caprese salad to looks like a panini, and each different thing is labeled with a letter from A to Z. So I got letter V, and this looks like, I thought before it was potato chips, but now I'm not sure. It looks maybe like some sort of meat and capers, like a prosciutto and like a caper on top of it. You can kind of see that, get it in focus. So yeah, so interesting. So let's crack this open. This Birra Moretti, this is your standard original recipe, Ricetta Originale. So let's give it a try. Right, so I did find the glass this time. I came prepared. So let's give it a pour. This is a lager style. So on the nose, like a little bit of yeast and kind of like bready. A little bit of like a grain maybe as well. Or maybe that's more malt, I'm thinking. So this is pretty good. I like this actually. Yeah, so very crisp and refreshing. There's a bit of a sweetness to it too, kind of as it's kind of like hitting over your palate. There's a little bit of a sweetness on it. Yeah, but I think just a very clean, drinkable beer. Has a decent body to it. I think it kind of like fades out at the end. So you'll drink it, you'll get like the little bit of like a little bitterness to it. Then it kind of sweetens up, but then it just kind of like fades out. But I could see you pairing this, yeah, with different things, right? You know, from the different Italian cuisines that we've had. You know, if I would have to say more along the lines of like a pizza, because that's kind of my typical pairing, like a beer and pizza. But other than that, I mean, I would definitely try to give it a try with a caprese salad. Typically, I haven't really had a beer with a caprese salad before. I think one of these is a melon on here, so that would be interesting. And this one is spaghetti. You can kind of see it. And there's a panini here, which looks like it's filled with like a spinach or something like that. So I think, yeah, if you wanted to pair it with any of those things, probably would work out pretty well. Yeah, definitely very clean, drinkable, all around pretty good beer. I would give it a 3.5. Nothing really kind of jumps out at you, but it is definitely a solid beer, a solid lager. Lagers aren't really like my first choice, but it's good, I think, definitely for a lager. And that's just kind of like my preference, so if it's a little bit lower, that's kind of why. And it's a 4.6% alcohol by volume, so definitely an alcoholic beer as opposed to my review in Ischia last night. So this is Birra Moretti. This is their original recipe, just a little special edition. And I checked online, this special edition of kind of like Italian kitchen, Italian cuisine pairing thing. It runs from June till like late mid-July. And so it's like just a special thing for the summer. So if you want to go ahead and pair something with your Birra Moretti, try it. So that's what's all stout from Italy, currently in Naples, back home tomorrow with full reviews coming soon. Sorry for the break. It's been a little hectic with the wedding and things like that, but now back on track for That's What's All Stout, so look for more coming soon, definitely. And from Italy, That's What's All Stout, Prost.
Se voi che entrate, state